Alright folks, I have a worn out tire on the back of my Rocket Tourer, and I haven't seen any videos on how to do it, and I've never done it, but we're about to go through this together. Yeah, it's about time for a new tire. So I guess we'll get this jack and get it fitted under there, get the back of that bike off the ground, and see what we can do about replacing it. Alright, just so everyone can see this, where I have the jack up under the bike is at the very back edge in front of the catalytic converter. Matter of fact, it's not touching the converter on the back leg of the jack isn't even touching the bike. And that will get the rear wheel off the ground. So then we strap the bike down. Strapped it directly to the jack, so it won't go anywhere. Let's give it a good shake. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I would give you a bit of advice so you don't get a surprise when you jack up the bike. Make sure you already have the handlebars turned to the left, because that thing will turn on you and scare you. I just found out the hard way. Alright, let's get after it. So first order of business is to get rid of this saddlebag on the left hand side, which is pretty easy. Turn that screw, turn that screw, there goes our saddlebag. The axle is going to have to come out this way, so it looks like we're going to have to take this exhaust pipe loose. So let's do that next. Alright, just so everyone knows, I'm not taking down sizes of the bolts and all this and the wrenches that I'm using, but I will tell you I've used everything out of the toolkit with the exception of this crescent wrench. And we got to pull this muffler off, so I have taken this bolt loose right here, which is on the clamp up under the bike. You can see where that is, behind the chrome piece. And now I've taken these two bolts on top loose. That's supposed to let that thing loose. So let's see if it will come off of there now. Alright, just so everybody knows, that took me about 30 seconds to slip that little fella off of there. There's the clamp we took loose. There's where the two bolts were that held it onto the bracket here. And there's the bolts. You can buy one of these little magnetic pans somewhere to keep up with the nuts and bolts. Do I normally do that? No, usually there's nuts and bolts laying here everywhere, but since I'm making a video, I figured I'd try to do some of it right anyhow. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, now I'm on the right hand side of the bike, and I just decided to go ahead and pull this other saddlebag since it's so easy to pull off, and put an Allen head on the other side of the axle, and I took the nut off of this side, so we can now, that axle is loose, so we should be able to pull it out the other side. Okay, so I just tapped the axle in a little bit. You don't want to hit that hard because those fine threads right there wouldn't be hard to mess up. So if it doesn't go, you might want to put a little, take a little weight off the bike, lower the tire down to the ground so it'll slide out a little easier. Luckily this one seems pretty loose. I just backed it out a little bit. Now the head of the bolt's sticking out over here. So hopefully now we can wiggle that thing out this way. And come on out with it. The axle is out. Now, the tire's loose in there. I'm going to say that probably we're going to have to take some brakes loose. Alright, we're over here on the brake side, and we are removing this bolt. So hopefully, that's the pin that holds that brake caliper on. So hopefully now, we can pick this guy up. And it's out of there. Just laying it off to the side here. Be careful because you got a brake line there. And now we're going to see how loose this tire is. We just dropped the tire out. Now before we get this tire all the way out, I want you to see something because this will fall out if you're not paying attention. There's a spacer that goes right in here. I'm going to go ahead and take it out now that I know it's there and lay it on the ground here so I'll have it. But that should be all we need. There's our tire. Not that big a deal, huh? Now to get a new one mounted and put it back up under there. And we'll just have to do the reverse to get it all back together. We're looking at maybe half an hour, 45 minutes of work. Alright, just a few more notes that I wanted to throw in here. I didn't have anyone here to help me hold the bike steady. I'm not suggesting you do that. It'd be better to have some help, but I was able to do it by myself. You drop it on you, you're on your own, partner. I don't want to tell you there. The next thing is this axle has an Allen over here on the left hand side of the bike, and the one that comes in the toolkit does not fit it. I'm glad I wasn't out on the road and finding that out. So that will be a 9/16 Allen you'll have to purchase to add to your toolkit. Everything else was done with all the tools that were in the toolkit. I had, of course, some longer wrenches in here that I used, which made it a little easier, but for the most part you can use everything in the toolkit except for that Allen wrench. So there it is, guys. Good time to check your brakes, check the pads, check your rotors and all that good stuff. So anyway, there it is. Good luck with yours.